my fellow producers. Happy new week again. So this week we're here to talk about the responsibility of a producer when it comes to pre-production. And during these stages when you want to create your budget. So let's discuss money, how you take care of that funding, because at the end of the day, you would have to work with your production manager on a cost report. I don't know if a lot of people have heard about cost reports. For every production you have, you need to be able to work on a cost report so you can show the funders and investors how you have spent their money. In case at the end of the day you want to file for taxes, you need to have that, because they might probably ask you, or if you want to get tax refund, anything can happen. But it's always good for you to have a budget that is well worked upon based on the stages, because when it comes to budgeting, it has different stages you need to work with, and you'll be able to work on your cost report with your production manager at the day. Down along the line, we'll be talking about different roles you should be working with as a producer. So now let's talk about money and how well we can work with our money. I also want you to like, subscribe, and share so that every other person that doesn't have an idea how a budget works or how it's created can have an idea, and they know how to get it right for any funder or any broadcaster. At the end of the day, we'll be talking about one of the responsibilities of a producer in pre-production. Are you one of those producers that as soon as you get funding, you just start giving people cash and say, oh, this is money for this is money for this, without taking a step back and creating a budget? Some producers are very lucky to have personal fund at the end of the day that they can use for their project, and some are not so lucky, they have to rely on funders. So I don't want you to be in a situation whereby you get money for funders, or even if you even use your personal money, you should be able to understand where each amount, penny, cent, naira, dollar, is going into each line item. So we'll be talking about it soon. Let's take a pen and paper or whatever your jotter are, and let's start writing it down. So when we talk about the budget, we have above the line. Above the line consists of 25% to 30% of your entire project. And the funding or the amount you put above the line, it will align with your key creative whose vision aligns with your project, like your director, your actors, your script writer, and your producer. Basically, if you have any other thing you want to add that you think helps with the vision of your project, you can add it above the line. Then now we have below the line. Below the line, it consists of 50 to 60% of your budget or the funding you envisage or you think you might need for your production. And it comes with the crew, it comes with location fee, it comes with welfare, it comes with transportation, it comes with wardrobe, it comes with basically it is the bulk of the money goes below the line. Then in your budget, we have the post-production section of your budget. This is where you assign 10 to 20% of your budget in the post-production phase. I understand that post-production happens after production has been completed, when you're done on set. However, you need to budget for it early enough so you know how much you're assigning to music, you're assigning to editing, your visuals, you are assigning to basically the post-production team and anything that they might be needing, your trailers and every other thing. It falls in that category. Then we have contingencies. Anything can happen on set. Maybe somebody had an accident, insurance comes up, or maybe a particular actor falls in sick, you need to take the actor to the hospital. So anything can happen. Maybe your catering company had an accident on their way to your set, and they couldn't deliver food, so you need to have a plan B. Or maybe your camera that you rented, or maybe camera that you have as a production company decides not to work that morning. You need to have a backup where you can reach out to an equipment company saying, oh, please, I need certain equipment, can I get it within this timeline? and things like that. So you need to also think about contingencies at the end of the day. There are key categories you should look out for when developing your budget for your project. We have the set design, we have location, we have wardrobe, we have transportation, we have equipment rental. Those categories can actually make or break your production. We have makeup, we have accommodation, we have welfare. So you need to be very, very strategic as a producer when it comes to your budget in those categories. Because you need to be very, very specific and be very deliberate when you are assigning a certain amount on those line items in your budget. You want to ensure that your project is within the budget. You have to ensure as a producer that you monitor it. And who are you monitoring it with? Your line producer. Your line producer ensures that every department works within the assigned amount. They work with every department, and this is where communication comes in. You have to work in line with your line producer, your production manager, and your accountant at the end of the day. Because if you work or your production is way out of budget, then trust me, you won't be able to complete that production, and every other thing you have invested, time, money, manpower, would be wasted on that production. So you need to make sure that you have a good link of communication between your team, your core team that has to do with the financing of your project at the end of the day. And you don't want to look bad in front of investors, because if you mess up one project now, you can't go back to an investor next time and say, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up with this project, can I get another funding? It doesn't work that way. So you need to be very deliberate and be able to work with your team. That means you have to have a structure in place to ensure that nobody is coming to request for a certain equipment which it is not necessary for the production at the end of the day. Or maybe there's a particular makeup an actor is requesting for, or a makeup designer, because some actors would want to bring in their own personal makeup designer. But if it's within your budget, please go ahead and ensure that it works. But if it's out of your budget, as a filmmaker and someone that is not getting a lot of funding, they need to explain to them that, oh, this is the budget we have, this is the amount we have. You need to work with whatever it is we have to ensure that everything goes on well.